Facebook family and friends. What's happening, you guys? Listen, we are back at it. We are good to go. Bang, bang. So, as you can see, we are, this is our first return to our regular broadcasts. Hey, Olga. Love you, sweetie. I see you on here. I love you. So we're just getting this platform set up. We'll be coming back on live starting tomorrow with our StreamYard platform. Uh, as you can see, I'm using the banners and everything. Hey, Michelle, how you doing, babe? So, yeah, as you can see, we are. Let me check my StreamYard, make sure my comments they're not posting. So that means I have to make sure this is public. So I got to bam, put that on public. Alyssa, I see you, sweetheart. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Bam. All right. So the way we do this broadcast is I'm actually on a platform called StreamYard. And that platform simultaneously uh, posts to my Facebook page, my Ocore page, and my YouTube page. And so we're just getting it back up and running. My producer, so normally my producer comes in and she does all this, but it's 8 o'clock at night here, so it's 2 in the morning in London, where she's at in England, across the pond, as we say. So she's been teaching me how to run it from myself, and then we're gonna set up a time that's uh, conducive to her as well. So we're trying to coordinate everything. I just want to say a thank you to everybody. I don't know if you guys know how many of you went ahead and like I started that page today, the artwork of Blue Mountain. And as you guys know, my name's Monte Azul. In English, that's Blue Mountain. Uh, so I wanted to put it something, spiffy or whatever. Who knows? Whatever, eh? Uh, so I put it artwork of Blue Mountain. The response was insane. Like within an hour, I had over 100 likes, and they're just climbing. They're going and going and going. And a bunch of you guys shared the post, which thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, like I said, I've never had that much confidence in my artwork. You guys have made it so that I do. So what's nice about this platform, you guys, is that not only can I simul stream 3 or 4 or 5 different places at a time, I can bring people on as well. So if you were interested in coming on live with us and talking about the issues and talking about the situations, I can send you an invite. You log into that invite and immediately brings you into our green room. Once you're in the green room, we'll shoot you a few instructions on the rules of the land, right? The lay of the land. There are some rules, not many. Again, this is a broadcast that allows you to use your voice to speak your mind. And so one of the things that I do, sign me up. I love you, Olga. Hold on one second. I'm going to send out a bunch of invites while we're talking. I'm trying to, so I'm learning this as we go, you guys, which is new for me. So let me see if I can get somebody to come on live with us. Bam. I'm sending out a bunch of invites for people to view, and like our viewership is rising as we speak. We're up to 5 already. It depending on the night and the day, like it's Friday night, we might not get nobody to answer us, which is fine. I don't mind. Like I said, this is just a test run to see how I can go and if I can learn this as I'm doing it. So if you're interested in coming live, just go ahead and send me a chat right there on the comment section. And as soon as I get done sending these invites out real quick, I will take a look and we can go ahead and, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about tonight. Like tonight, there's no issue that's pressing. So let me be honest. I'm really pissed off at NATO at the moment, right, for the situation happening over in the Ukraine. I think it's It's some poopy. Hey Jen, love you, hon. I'm so glad mom's feeling better. So if you want to talk about that, feel free. But if you want to come online and just help me make sure I got this set up correctly, again, shoot me a little thing saying send me an invite, and I'll share that invite with you immediately, and then we'll bring you in. So the rules, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. I don't care. Like, this forum is so that we can speak whatever we want to speak, except for calls to violence, racism, hate speech. These are things I don't accept in my life. I won't accept them on our program. I won't accept them in our group. Anything that calls for violence or anger, anger's fine, but anything that calls for violence or hatred, I will remove immediately. I agree, but at the same time, I wish America would just stay out of it. We don't need this drama at home. Let them duke it out on their own. Okay, so yeah, I get what you're saying, Melissa, but this is like a huge thing, right? Like, we didn't do shit when, we levied some sanctions when Russia invaded Georgia and then Crimea. We've shown nothing but weakness to Russian aggression, and we've allowed him to now claim even more. So what is he going to do now? Now he's taking the Ukraine back, right? Like, he's forcing them back into the USSR, which is, I think, Putin's plan in the end is to rekindle the USSR, the Soviet, republic and imperialistic regime. So now he's going back for the countries that used to belong to Russia, not by choice, but by force then, right? And so now he's subjugating more people. And as human beings, it's kind of our due, if we can stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. I get it. The United States and NATO are in a unique position because Russia is a nuclear power, and they're kind of retarded. Well, Putin's kind of retarded. In the sense of, please don't take that as a disrespectful term for people who are mentally challenged. He's retarded in his ability to make choices. And I say that in a non-assaultive manner towards people who are mentally challenged. I use the word retarded as it's defined, right? He has a barrier to making correct choices through his personal ego and id, right? Like, his choices are fucked up because his head's fucked up. And now he thinks that he needs to leave this legacy that he rebuilt the Soviet empire. Do I think we should allow our allies, the Ukraine, to suffer at the hands of someone they can't stop? No. I wouldn't let my friends suffer at the hands of somebody bigger and stronger and meaner than them. So I wouldn't let another entire civilization, an entire country, an entire nation of human beings do it. I think NATO has shown nothing but weakness. They could have removed SWIFT and imparted the most harshest sanctions without putting boots on the ground. I think we should physically go over there and fight for the Ukraine. No, but they didn't ask us to, right? So those of you who I understand this, but I don't want to have to worry about living in a bunker with these crazy boys, LOL. No, we shouldn't. So I don't think we should go over there and physically join the fight. But that's not what the Ukraine asked for. The Ukraine asked for NATO air protection, which means we would make Ukraine a no-fly zone. By doing that, by making the Ukraine a no-fly zone, we would stop the Russian military from being able to drop bombs on strategic parts of the Ukraine, and it would allow the Ukrainian army to fight. Now, we're totally justified and legal in giving them arms. They're our allies. We can send them, and we do send them weapons and defensive weapons and weapons for assaultive reasons. Like, we've been doing that anyways. We've been doing that for years anyways. We can continue or bump that up without starting World War III. Like, NATO can enforce a no-fly zone, a NATO protective no-fly zone over the Ukraine, which would stop the Russian armies from bringing in their planes and destroying the Ukraine. And that would still be within our rights as members of NATO, right? Like, that's not an American choice, though. So let's not get it twisted. This doesn't fall all on America. This isn't a United States only situation. This is a NATO situation, the North American Treaty Organization. Like, the group of people, countries who came together after World War II and said, if shit goes down, we will protect each other. If shit goes down and somebody asks for help, we will stand with them. right? And NATO's weak. I don't see the point in NATO. Like, I can't stand Trump. Everybody knows I am not a fan of Trump. I don't think he's an intelligent human being. I think he is a psychopath, sociopathic piece of crap who is looking to destroy our freedom in our country. But he said it right. What good is NATO? Fuck them. They're not going to do anything. They've proven that over and over again by allowing aggressive countries who are nuclear powers to do what they want and then saying, oh, we're just going to put some sanctions on them. But they don't put the real sanctions down, right? So let's get off the subject of war. Again, like I said, tonight was just a test run to see how this was running and if we could get it up. So if one of you wants to come on live, let me know. I'm going to send out some more invites. That way, if I can. So my hope is to be able to North Korea, yeah, right. North Korea does what they want. China. So my hope is to test this by bringing someone on live and making sure that I can do it without having my producer do it for me. Now, you know, this should be an easy thing. It's not. Like, this is a little bit more difficult. Jimbo, let's send Jimbo. He's always open to babbling online. Guys, this is I'm excited by this. Like, I think I got it down. I think I know what I'm doing. I altered the banners. Hold on, I can change stuff around too, you guys. It is super cool. Didn't think I'd be able to get it down as fast as I did. Hold on, Jimbo's responding. Let me send him a thing. Jimbo, come on, homie. Oh shit, attachment unavailable. If any of you guys are getting my things and it's saying attachment unavailable, let me know to my page and join our live. Bam, Jimbo. So let's see if Jimbo can get over here. If he can get how's your toilet? Fuck yeah. So just so you guys know, I ended up having to actually replace the entire fucking toilet. So he had a small little shampoo bottle that he flushed and it got lodged in there, and I got my 3-foot auger and I stuck it in there and I pushed down so hard that it eventually. Do I got to put my teeth? Jesus Christ. No, you don't. The pressure became so hard that it broke the toilet. So I had to go overnight with no toilet. And then buy a new one in the morning. Some post comments. Can't post some comments to destinations more. Facebook groups, Facebook profiles. I can read. I can post. Show up on StreamYard Unix, public on Facebook. So we are public on Facebook, I do believe. That's happened to us at the last place when Aaron check it out in a few minutes. Got chili stain all down the front of my shirt. Jim, just so you know, I'm reading these live. Wow. I'm sorry, bro. Everybody knows you're not putting your teeth in and you got chili stains down the front of your shirt. I love you. The last place when Aaron put a dinosaur in the toilet. My God. Yeah, dude, it was so rough. Some of you know what the end of that situation was, and it was not the greatest. So, boom, boom, boom. You are live on YouTube. You're live on Ocore. You are live on my page. So, let's see where it is that isn't streaming correctly. All right. Monteso Cruz Seymour. Monteso Cruz Seymour. Public. So I don't know which one is not public. So I don't understand why you guys are getting the attachment unavailable. And thank you guys for sitting here with me, man, and going through this with me. Like, this is a process, a learning process for me. Edit audience, public. All right. Edit audience, public. This is a learning process for me as well, you guys. Like, I am just now figuring things out, and I'm getting better as I go, right? Gaming video, Facebook Pay. Like, there's a lot of things I'm learning about streaming and live streaming that I didn't understand before. Hey, baby girl, what's going on? I see you. We're here live. I'm just doing a test stream on our platform. It's our old platform, now newer. Hold on, let me see. Banners, live open forum. Let's go be a guest on Racing Okor. So let's hide that. Bam, there you go. See, there's some new stuff. And then when we bring people in, we can split screen them. We can fit up to 4 people, I believe, during one stream, which is pretty cool. Let me go comments. One more. Just hanging out at the house. Nothing too crazy. When you coming over to hang out, I'll make dinner. You tell me, I'll come get you if I need to. I miss you. I'm glad you're back. I'm going to do something that I don't do on Saturday mornings during our broadcast, but this isn't our Formers Anonymous broadcast. This is me on our Okor page. I'm going to smoke a motherfucking cigarette. Why? Well, because I enjoy cigarettes. That's just the reality. So, come fix my truck, please, sir. What's wrong with your truck? Now, Sammy. Or did you just... Sammy Rangel said, Olga White for Racine. Come fix my truck, please, sir. All right. That's a weird comment, Samuel. Let me see if I can get this open. Bam, bam. Oh, I don't know why it said... All right. All right. Well, now we fixed that. Hold on. Let me do something here. Copy the clipboard. Messenger. So it allows me to do a bunch of stuff while I'm actually talking to you guys. So let's see. Send it to that douchebag. Let's see if we can get more than one on here. Bam. Now, once we hit so many followers, well, actually, I'm here to help people. Shit, come fix my car. I love you. All right. So now I've sent out a few invites, and what'll happen is if they come back and accept and log in, they'll go into my green room and then my green screen, and then I can bring them online live with me to see how it goes. Where's my homie Elaine? I should have hit her up beforehand and told her. That's my homie right there. Screw Sammy. Sammy's just this dude. I talk to all crap. Did he? Oh shit! Here comes Sammy. Look, you guys, at how big this dude's head is. How massive this dome. Like, I love that painting, sir, behind you. That one is beautiful. The forebears with the thing. Now, I recently seen a picture of your house with another picture in it that I recognized as something that I was familiar with. Yeah. So I'm not sure you know it, bro, but that's sideways.
It's the way I want to put it. Thank you.
Oh, bang it out. Hey, if that's what you're comfortable with, that's what you're comfortable with. When I drew it, it was meant to stand straight up and down. It's a Zuni bear with a Apache sun. Both very powerful symbols.
I see.
I see, said the blind man. How's that truck going, bro?
I'm not going to work until tomorrow.
Okay. You got it all.
I
This
put
is-
that spray on it. It's still charging the battery. The battery's kind of stalled out at 13.5.
Okay.
I got it on a charger though.
Cool beans.
My charger wasn't malfunctioning. It was I think the battery was so low it was giving me an error.
Okay.
So I charged it a little bit, and then my machine read it, and then it's been charging it since.
Well, look who's come to join us.
Holy shit! It's fucking Santa Claus.
Jimbo. I'm a ray of fucking sunshine. All right. Facebook. You guys really got something to share today.
That's funny.
Now-
What's up, Jim?
I am almost positive that you can share the live feed to your to your page as we do it, and we'll figure it out more in the morning.
She's already bagged up.
Right now, it's
We got a body to take care of. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
all right, bro. Much love.
Peace, brother.
All right, so Jimbo Jambo Jumbo, it's working. I'm excited.
So what's going on here?
So Sammy and I have come to a decision that we're going to be doing FA every week on Facebook as a live broadcast, and we
Okay.
needed to be able to dependably bring people on screen with us. And unfortunately, the way Facebook streaming goes, you can do it from your phone, but you can't do it from your PC. And we use PC for our stream. So this is our platform. It's called StreamYard. We've used it in the past. So my producer, who lives in Ogle White, Alyssa says she loves your shirt, bro. My producer is in London, and Julie works during the day. So asking her to stay up until 2 a.m. to run my streams during the evenings was just not fair. Considering I don't pay her. We don't make any money. We don't get paid. We do all this as a volunteer basis. In fact, if you ever look up Incarcerate Us or Incarcerate US, that is her and my brother Dante's podcast and live stream. Her husband, they're paying for this streaming service for us to use along with them. So they've already paid for it. We're using theirs with the upgraded so that we can put our banners and our brands up and do what we want, which is amazing. And I love her dearly for that. I'll go ahead and where's my Ocore banner? Show, bam. So live streaming Ocore. I got the YouTube, and we're streaming simul right now to our community, our responsibility page, and our YouTube page. Just so you know. Back in the saddle.
Make sure there's nothing behind me that's incriminating. No, okay. All right.
You're good to go, my brother. You're good to go. Since we're just rambling along here, we only got like 4 people watching right now, but that's cool beans. Some people were talking about the Ukrainian situation. Obviously, I went on my pedestal and ranted about the uselessness of NATO. And the weakness that they've shown in the past towards Russia, with their shitty little sissy sanctions on when they invaded Georgia and Crimea, and didn't do shit then either. And now they're doing the same thing. Like they did half-ass sanctions against Russia. Like they didn't even do full-out sanctions. SWIFT is still in play. The richest still have their money, even though they did a little bit of sanctions against some of the rich people. But Putin.
I've got another perspective for you. Okay. I'm a Cold War vet. I'm a Cold War Army vet.
Yep.
And I was stationed in Würzburg, Germany.
Okay.
Okay. And one of the reasons that we were there was to prevent Russia from walking across and helping things, you know?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know, like when we hear the Ukraine, right, we're thinking the middle of nowhere, but I mean, the Ukrainian borders Poland, where I have a lot of friends. I got a friend who lives 80 kilometers, which is like 35, 40 miles from the border, the western border of the Ukraine. Like they have to seriously, contend with the situation. And You know, Poland's amazing. They're accepting, you know, refugees immediately, and openly. You know, they're trying to help as many people as they can while they're there, and while they need it. But like, how long until the fighting gets to the Polish border? And then when does Russia stop? Like, that's another question. When the fuck does Russia stop? What will stop
Russia's
them?
not going to stop.
Right, and they're going to keep waving their nuclear weapons as their deterrent for us to stand up against them. You know, for NATO to do anything, and you know, NATO will take a tough stance and put boots on the ground in weak countries, in countries that aren't nuclearly armed.
Right.
They will take severe sanctions against those countries, but countries that have nuclear weapons, like, we just say, okay, fuck it, we'll throw some sanctions on them. Not really super serious sanctions. Like, all the Ukrainian government asked for, they didn't ask for military assistance. They didn't say give us men and women. They didn't say send us soldiers. They said, NATO, will you please put in a no-fly zone over the Ukraine so that Russia understands their planes can't come over, and, you know, protect us on that manner, and continue to send us weapons like you have been for the last 45 years, 30 years, right? But they didn't ask for anything different than what they had prior to the invasion. They just asked us to enforce the rules, right? And NATO said, oh, we'll make some weak-ass sanctions against Russia. Hey, you fucking pussies. Fuck you, NATO. Kiss my ass. You're useless.
Well, you know, what was it I saw recently about Congress wanting Biden to get their approval prior to sending troops over?
Yeah, we don't want troops there.
Well, the interesting thing of it is like the Kaserne where I was stationed in Germany, which is Hindenburg Kaserne in Würzburg, right? That's 3rd Infantry Division.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, it was 123rd Signal Battalion within 3rd Infantry Division, and we were actually the net control station for the division as far as communications went. Okay. So essentially what that means is that anybody in a division that went out into the field, we went out into the field because we were that command element as far as communication went.
Hey, don't stop what you're saying. I'm going to go off camera for 1 second, but I can hear you. I just need to turn a movie on for the kids in the living room. The only remote is my phone,
right?
Because they lost our remote, and I just seen the message from Lizzie. I'm going to turn the movie on, but I can hear you talking, so keep talking.
Oh, I thought I was going to be unattended. 7 years ago today.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Well, I mean, anyways, the whole purpose of our being there was due to Russia and Russia's aggressions and Russia's potential aggressions. All those places, the Kaserne where I used to be stationed at in the 80s is affordable German housing now.
Hey, you guys, get over here.
You can't beat the children on live. So here we are live, and I'm sitting here all by myself. Well, Monty puts the movie on, talking about Russia and Ukraine. And honestly, I'm detached from the situation. I'm more focused on matters immediately in my community. But as an Army veteran that was stationed there, we should have never left Germany and pulled out like we did.
Are you watching our live?
No, we're not watching live.
Go to my live page.
Don't do it. There's nobody here but me.
Yeah, no, I'm here, bro.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can't beat your children on live, Monty.
I wish I could beat them little rotten suckers. They're so mean and so naughty, bro. Oh my God. Like, if I punished them, period, ground them. Well, how much time were you there? Didn't find the remote. No, we still didn't find the remote. Alyssa, the babysitter responsible for the remote. And Olga wants to know, Jim, how long you were in Germany. How long were you stationed there?
Oh, from May of 87 to August of 89.
Okay, so 2 years, over 2 years.
Yeah, I would have been there longer, but I had a general discharge for a pattern of misconduct. And, you know,
A pattern of misconduct.
yeah, actually, that's what it says on my DD 214.
Eh,
Asshole.
So, explain to those who don't know what a DD 214 is.
That is the official document that says you were a member of the armed forces.
Yes, it is. It has all of your info on it, actually, where you were stationed or what your rank was, all that, right?
Yeah, that was career private. And it has a discharge code, which mine happens to be an RE 3-3 Charlie, which essentially means while I was of age to go back into the military, that if you believe such a thing, Jesus Christ himself would have signed the waiver. And then they'd still had to think about it.
How am I not surprised that I mean the military didn't want your ass back?
Well, I'm going to tell you an interesting aspect of that, because at that particular time of my life, I was very young. I was under 21, in active addiction and alcoholism and criminality. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, it's funny. So, Sammy and I have been working. I don't know if you guys know. Sammy is one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. I consider him full out my family member. I love him dearly. We've been working with some life coaching skills, and he's been coaching me for a while now and mentoring me, and it's been an amazing thing. Hey, Danica had it last. Let me check my purse. So. There's some things that Sammy had taught me that I didn't use. And so now I'm starting to implement them, creating habits that help me function through my grief. And so I'm currently writing a dissertation on loss and recovery, right? Like living through a loss while in recovery and maintaining that recovery during it. So I don't think there was ever a time I was more afraid personally of not being able to survive out here than it was after I lost my son. And so I'm actually writing about it. And then I'm going to publish it. And hopefully it can help someone else. So as I'm working through that, I started learning things about myself that I didn't know. And in fact, I was talking to my sister, Olga, who's on here right now, the other day about it. And so it's a funny thing. Grief is fucked up, right? And grieving will make you think and do fucked up things. So it's nothing personal against anybody, and I hope and nobody thinks that it is. But there are things that go through my head when I see full families that are unfair to them and to myself. Like I become jealous and angry, even though they've done nothing wrong. I'm not mad at them. But when I see them enjoying their family in its entirety, there's this feeling of jealousy and anger that leaves me feeling guilty and depressed for days after that. I would feel that way about someone else, right?
I want to piggyback off of that when you're done.
So it's been a real struggle for me. Like when people call me and tell me how hard it is for them that Junior's not here anymore. Like I become very angry, right? Like I don't say anything to them. I don't want to hurt them or make them feel like they're wrong in their loss, right? Because they're feeling this loss of Junior as well, right? But when you tell me that, like my first response to you is, how the fuck do you think I feel when you say that? Like, have you thought about how I feel? Like if I don't bring the subject up, I don't want to talk to you about it. And it's nothing personal. It's not that I don't think they're deserving or anything like that. I'm just not at that point in my life right now where I want to discuss it with you on a one-on-one basis. So why are you bringing it to me? And I think that's something that people who haven't lost a child should really think about and learn. Allow the parent, that would be my best advice. First, I have a couple of things of advice, and a lot of you guys took it without me saying it because you knew, like you never called and asked what happened. You never asked me what happened. Not once. You didn't say, how did it happen? What, you didn't say anything except, I love you, bro. I'll be there if you need me. Like you didn't make those comments. That was a huge thing to me. Like the people who did that, who didn't ask, like their level in my life, even no matter how high they were, just rose, right? Like, thank you. Thank you for not asking me. When I'm ready to tell you, I'll tell you. All right. And when I'm ready to talk about it, I'll talk about it. You made that step, Sammy. There was a ton of you guys who understood it. There was a ton of you who didn't. Like, there were people out there, like, one jackass was like, what's up, bro? Who we going after? Like this is going to mean something to me, you piece of shit motherfucker. Like, is that what you're thinking? Like, I'm still that 18-year-old boy who needs to destroy other people to handle his pain and his suffering. I'm too weak to stand on my own. That's also why I didn't drink or use after Junior's burial. Like, all my friends and family, they used it as an excuse to get fucked up drunk. And here's how I felt about that, right? Like, real deal, I felt if you were so weak and Junior meant so little to you that you had to cover up the pain of loss that you were feeling by getting fucked up, then he didn't mean as much to you as you think he did. Because to me, I felt like he deserved me to feel the full force of his loss. Like, my son deserved that. He deserves for me to suffer his loss in whole, right? Not covering it up with getting high or getting drunk or using dope, right? Like, if I want to have a beer, I'll have a fucking beer, but you better goddamn well know it won't be because my son, my guilt and me hiding from the suffering of my son. Like, how dare you even think that would be appropriate, an appropriate response to the pain you feel? Like, your loved ones demand and deserve you're feeling the full weight of their loss. This is how we celebrate them, right? We mourn them and we remember the beauty and the love and the kindness and the great things fully. We don't hide from the pain, right? We don't run from the suffering. We learn to suffer well, right? We learn to suffer that and live a good life while suffering that. That's a testimony to our children. And that's the only testimony I'll leave my kid. And I'll piggyback what you need to, boo, because I love you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Now, I'm an erased parent. Okay. So to put that into perspective, in the last 10 years, I've been able to see 4 of my children 5 times in 10 years. One of those kids is now, what the hell is he? 23, 24 years old, something like that. And we talk on Facebook once in a pissy blue moon of no substance.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is as a father, right, I'm mourning children that are alive on a daily basis. And when I try to put into perspective another father's loss, it becomes combobulated and confusing and hard for me to get my mind around in the gravity and dearth of it, if that makes sense. Okay. But in the same breath, I know what it's like to feel the absence of that child, that person in your life. And so all I can do is share the love. I mean, what's the bottom line? As a parent, we love our children, but in terms of that as relates to recovery, and Monty, personally, I hope that anything I'm saying doesn't minimize, what you're feeling. That's not my intent whatsoever.
I know.
Okay. But, and it's like so many people can say to me, well, Jim, it's only 540 miles, fucker. Well, unless I sprout wings out of my ass or hit the lottery, like my 1999 Jeep is not going to fucking make it 540 miles. And my $80 a week of unemployment is not going to fund that. Nor would the other 79 that child support takes weekly. That $159 wouldn't fund that. But in terms of relating that to recovery and going on in your function of daily life, I mean, because not only and I'm not trying to drag formers into this, but I'm a former and I'm a recovering alcoholic, 13 years sober. And if you don't think for a minute that I've wanted to, go get plowed so the ticker would stop working so I could not think about this shit for a day. If the criminal aspect, she can't run fast. I'm pretty sure I could clip her with the car.
Yeah.
But the point of it is you've lost your son, okay, and my son and daughters are still trotting around the earth here, but I'm not a part of their lives, okay. But I think we both are tasked with the same objective, and that's honoring our children. And for myself, I don't want to feed a negative narrative of myself. I do enough of that on my own.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is be a person of substance and integrity, that somebody can say that's my friend, that I trust him. Somebody might be able to say to my children sometime that your father's really a good person, and those options have been taken away from you, and I still have those options. So I understand that we're not the same, but grief is grief in and of itself.
Yes.
To top it off, I have Benjamin, who's my legal ward. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's my son.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that's your boy.
Technically, he's my legal ward. And technically, I have a stepson, right? And with little Benjamin, as an example, right? Christmas comes, and I can't do anything for the children that are 540 miles away. I can't afford to send them a gift. I can't afford to go see them. If I call them, they don't want to talk to me anyways. But I still have this child that I have to provide for and set up Christmas and make sure he has gifts and clothes and shoes and socks and school books and pencils and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And there's a feeling of guilt, unmeasurable guilt, that here I am providing for this child when I have these 4 other children 540 miles away who deserve a father. I thought I got kicked out for a second there. It's not the first time that would have happened.
Just so as we're doing this, I'm toggling through things and listening to you,
right,
to better show you and me together what we're doing as we're doing it. But no, I don't take that as an insult at all. So I shared that experience with you. For 18 years, I was removed from my children. For 18 years, in that 18 years, I didn't see him or speak to him for 13.
Right.
And so during those 13 years of absolute isolation from my kid and removal from my son, and I'm not angry at his mother whatsoever. Like, she did what she thought was best when she continued to bring him to come see me. And I didn't stop doing what I was doing. Like, I was in prison, still gang banging, still, getting in trouble, still going to the hole, still doing all the shit that was that led me to go to prison. And she made the conscious decision to try to give my son a better life by removing him from my bad influence, right? There's no hate or resentment towards her. Like, my son's mother made the right choice. Melissa made the right choice. So for what she had at that time, right? So I had actually, when I had started my recovery while incarcerated, I had actually partially built it on Junior and Sissy, right? My 2 existing kids at the time. And my desire to impress them and to earn their respect when I came home. Like, Junior was a huge part of that. He was my namesake. So when I got locked up, when I started to change after I got locked up, one of my goals was to show my son that I could be a good human being and earn his respect. And it took like 3.5 years. Like, we met shortly after I got out. We immediately, I loved him. There was no difference. I loved him dearly with all my soul, but he did not like me, right? And he was very honest. Junior didn't play any bullshit games. He was like his mother. Like, my son's mother's gangster. Like she's a high-end medical dermatologist, fucking CEO inside of an office who does her daily life thing, and she's a good human being. Like she's made a great life for herself. She's legit 100%. But she doesn't pull no punches to this day. Like there's no softness about her. When she has something to say, she just says it. If you take it wrong, you take it wrong. She'll tell you that you're taking it wrong, but she won't tell you in a way that makes you feel like she's compassionate about it, right? Like, all right, well, you took that wrong. That's not what I meant. Believe that or not, I don't fucking care, right? Junior was the same. So Junior was like, after we got into a fight right after him and I reconnected, and he said, here's the deal, bro. Don't call me in a year when you're back in prison because I don't believe anything you say. Like you abandoned me and my mother. You went to prison. You left us. That's what you are. And I said, okay. And he said, if you can change, prove that shit. And I told him, like, I'm not going to tell you I don't want to talk to you about my change at all. Like that's not what I want to do. I'll just live my apology. And that's what I try to do. Right. And so about 3 years after we had first had that conversation, he came back and he was like, you're still here, huh? Like, no fucking, he was such a dick that there was no compassion whatsoever. He was like, you're still out, huh? Wow. I'm like, really, bro? He was like, listen, I've been hearing good shit about you. Just didn't know whether or not it was real. And we started talking, and he moved to Texas, and everybody was against his move. And he hit me up to ask me what my thoughts were. And my thoughts were, I hate the fact that you're far away. I love the fact you're doing what makes you happy. As long as you're happy and safe, I got your back. You need some money. What do you need? Dad, no, I'm making good money. Do you need money? I'm like, no, that's not how this works, bro. And that's what started and rekindled began our relationship, right? Like we didn't have a relationship prior to that. And that's what we built our relationship on. And when he passed, like all of his friends, and I have them still, they all sent me screenshots of messages he had sent to his friends about me and my recovery, about me and loving me, about me and respecting me, about how, he was having a great time working for me, even though he was frustrated as fuck at times, because even though he was the boss's son, like you still got to do what you're told, bro. You still ain't the boss, right? And he liked to be the boss. Like, believe it, he loved to be the boss. But when he passed, my first feeling was, what did I do all this for? Why did I make all these changes? Like, I was content being a piece of shit. I didn't know that there was anything better than being a piece of shit. Like, my destiny was to die in a cage, and I knew that. I didn't want to die in a cage because I had children out here who needed me. And so my daughter made a good point, like, listen, you got, 4 other children and 3 grandchildren out here. And she, I knew that. Like, I wasn't suicidal. I was definitely despondent. I've been depressed. The depression will never go away. Like, there's no changing the loss. There's no changing the feeling of loss. There's no making it better. There's no getting used to it. There's none of that. There's the me before and the me after. And I'll deal with that depression and that sadness on a daily basis for the rest of my life. There's no curing it. My baby's gone. I just need to find ways that are positive to channel those feelings, right? And that's what I've been doing, like writing this book, starting new habits, expanding with Sammy. Sammy and I are venturing into a private situation between the two of us, business-wise. He's definitely helped me in more ways than I could ever say when it comes to growing my business knowledge, my recovery knowledge, and how I interact with people in recovery, right? Like, so it's been pretty awesome. But a lot of you guys have been that way for me. I've learned a lot from you. You
know what? We need to take a second. We need to take a second and beat Sammy's drum.
Man, fuck Sammy with his big ass head.
No, because I'm going to tell you something. When that motherfucker was the adjunct instructor when I was in Gateway doing my associate program, and he taught me motivational interviewing, right? But he taught it Sammy style.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Mercilessly
here I
remiss.
am all these years later in a fucking graduate program, right? And my fellow students have no goddamn idea what motivational interviewing is.
Yeah.
You know,
I've learned so much from that douchebag, bro. Like, without even realizing he was teaching me shit, I learned shit from him, right? And I used it later on. And like when I do use it, he'll recognize it and he'll be like, "Now, do you remember when we sat down?" And I'll be like, "Man, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. You ain't shit."
but you know what the premise of that is, right? Is we don't know, you know, what's the old saying is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and for me, you know, I take the people around me and I try to surround myself with people who benefit the quality of my life, whether it's just for the way they live theirs or whether they're, you know, like millionaires and they don't mind sliding me some bucks, you know, but more
I need
toward,
one of those.
yeah, right. But more towards the way that they live their lives sets an example that I can respect. You know, I've got my friend who recently passed in December.
Big Rob.
And yeah, you
Good
know, and
brother.
I loved him. I loved that motherfucker like he was my own flesh and blood. I didn't want jack shit to do with him. The way he lived his life was not something that I could respect.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not to say that he was wrong in the way he lived his life, but I didn't see the presence as conducive to supporting my own journey. You know, and that's probably a little bit judgy, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like we have that right. So I was talking to somebody on TikTok. You know, I got a TikTok page and I do a lot of videos. And somebody had mentioned the fact that I remove troll comments and negative comments from my page. I delete them and then block the user. And somebody said, well, isn't that kind of running from the discussion? And I took a line that I had heard from Cap Without a Country, which is another YouTube or a TikTok creator that I very much respect and talk to on TikTok. And he had mentioned something to me about, do you leave garbage on the floor in your kitchen? Do you allow refuse to lay on the walls, stay on the walls of your home? Do you leave trash or shit in your toilet? You flush that. You remove that. You clean that from your life and your presence. And I think that's a good thing, right? Like, that's why I'm okay with blocking and removing comments and well, fuck you, troll. Like, we have to build an environment, right, for ourselves that is conducive to what we're moving forward or towards. Big Rob was my boy too. Like, you introduced us, we became close. He started coming over. I realized he wasn't living the kind of life that I wanted around myself or my kids. He was unable to control comments and thoughts that would fall out of his mouth. Like, hey, man, bro, who's that girl with that big old booty? And she's standing 2 feet away from him, and he had no ability to whisper. Like, he was like, oh, that big old booty, I sure do like that thing. Like, he was Sling Blade, right? Like, I was like, damn, bro, she's standing right there with her husband. Like, censor yourself, right? So I couldn't really hang out with him either, but we stayed in contact because his heart was real. Like, he would hit me up and be like, you okay, bro? You need something? You know, if I can help, I will. And I'd be like, nah, bro, just love you, man. Maybe we can have a private barbecue sometime where I don't have anyone else over but you, right? Maybe your kid and Jimbo and his family. Like, we can do something like that. But I can't expose the rest of my friends and family to you because that shit's assaultive. Like, you have no filter. Like, he walked past the woman and he was like, did you see that damn camel toe? And I was like, Bob, what is wrong with you, bro? I can't have you over no more. He was like, oh, I understand. A lot of my friends feel that way.
But you know what? You can't say that there was a day that yourself, and I can't say that there was a day that I wasn't exactly the same goddamn way.
Right. But we grew out of it, right? Like, we grew up out of that whole, you know, womanizing mentality and objectifying other human beings. Or at least we learned the tack to not say it in front of the human being that we're that we're objectifying. Like we're smart enough to control that and respect their personal space and personality. Bob just didn't care.
Well, I mean, it's an acute lack of boundaries.
Right. Right.
And look at, I'm going to speak for myself, right? Because there was a point in my life where I didn't comprehend what responsible, healthy boundaries were.
Right.
You know, if you had it, I was going to take it. You know, if I wanted it, it'll look good. I didn't matter if it was your wife or your car or your bike, whatever. You know,
yeah.
I wanted it, I was taking it. Oh dear. Where'd you go, Monty?
Oh, I'm here.
I don't like it. I feel like I'm in a hot seat. Okay.
Exposing you to the world.
Right. But there comes a point, right? And I have to give it to recovery, you know, where we realize that the way that we were living our lives wasn't conducive to what's considered and what feels healthy. We're not even going to go on the considered part because I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit for social norms, you know.
Right. Yeah, I don't either.
But what feels right, you know, we speak to what serves us, you know, and what I've learned is that when I respect other people, you know, when I afford them the type of respect that I would like to have, I get a much better response and a much better interaction, you know. And so we put that forward. You know, now I don't know how we've managed to spiral into this end of the conversation.
Who cares? Like, this is just a jam night. So everybody who's on here knows we only have a handful of watchers right now. They all know that this is just a jam night of open discussion and topic. In fact, I got to leave in a few minutes because I got some bread to bake for the morning. And then I have 3 grandkids and 3 children out there watching Encanto, and they're requesting Papa's presents. But dude, thank you, bro. I love you for coming on, man. Like, I just wanted to see if I could figure out the layout and what I need to do. I got to get some tonight. I'll have to build some more banners that say Formers Anonymous, because we're going to be using this for Formers.
Right, which I want to hit on that real quick, right? Why the fuck do we got to do this shit so
goddamn early? Love you, Uncle. Good night. Well, so our group was normally at 9:30 in the morning, and so me and Sammy every Saturday for the last umpteen fucking years get up at 8 o'clock, prep, get ready, and then we sit online waiting for people to come into group. And you know, there's times where we're fucking overfull, and then there's times where we're lacking, and it's just me and Sammy, or just me, or just Sammy. And so we had started bringing our online program live to Facebook when nobody would join, right? Like, there would be nobody there. And then we decided that what we would do is we would go live every Saturday morning, because we had a huge response to that, and a lot of people who were chiming in and becoming a part of the conversation. Good night, Olga. I love you, sweetie. Give my brother and my nieces and nephews my love. So we decided to bring it every Saturday morning at 9:30. Now, that's not when we're moving group time to a different time, so that we can still maintain our private, group of Formers Anonymous. But we're going to do our lives every Saturday morning at 9:30. And the reason why we do them so early is because we're up. Like, we're up for group.
Well, so y'all are some punk asses getting up that goddamn early, but I guess count me in, man.
I love you, bro. Thank you. And I get up that early because I don't have any choice. As I'm getting older, I'm going to bed later and waking up earlier.
You see, not unlike yourself, I get up every day, between 7 and 7:30 to get the kid on the bus and, do the thing. So that's the one day that I sleep in. And then, the one integral part of my recovery that I want to, be active in, you fuckers have to get up so goddamn early. But, I guess it's a small price to pay,
Facebook family and friends, I love you guys dearly. YouTubers, visitors to Ocor. Jimbo's a ray of fucking sunshine, as always. I love that. I need that shirt. I'm gonna have to get one. We'll have to do Ocor on top, and then I'm a ray of fucking sunshine on the bottom. Yes, you are. You're a beautiful human being. I love you, bro. Give the wife and the kid my love. Tell them we got to get together soon. But we're going to get out of here, you guys. Peace from me, from Okor, from Jimbo and Sammy. We'll see you 9:30 tomorrow morning. Formers Anonymous. Sammy and I will be on there, and hopefully Jimbo will wake up and we'll bring him in. We'll have open discussion. I don't know what topic's going to be tomorrow. I got to talk to Sammy about it tonight or tomorrow morning. We usually discuss it right before we go on and decide what we're going to look at. I do have a topic that I've been thinking about and that I've been dealing with my depression. So I love you guys. Peace. We'll talk to you soon.